welcome to the channel. I suppose there's a lot of questions and I'd like to answer them fairly quickly about what it's about and why we're here, so it's of value to you. Firstly, what are we about? We're a business, management and personnel coaching channel. Community, hopefully. I don't put myself forward to be an expert. I'm not here to tell you how to do this, but maybe I can inject some thought, and I'd love to get some conversation going. The idea is to create a community that we can all benefit out of. Why personal coaching? Well, because in order to coach people, you need to understand people. And as a very famous person once said, the highest level of knowledge is to know thyself. Some short examples of what we do. Are we a touchy-feely channel that's going to be all about the emotional stability of our staff and ourselves? Not so much. No, there's going to be a little bit of that in there, but no, this is actually real advice, real hard-nosed stuff about how to make an environment where your staff thrive and where you thrive, to understand what makes you happy, what makes your staff happy, to create a vision that they can follow and get that wonderful magical thing called engagement. Engagement is so special, and we get confused a lot. There's a lot of people out there that produce joy in their staff through activities that are supposed to encourage engagement. The trouble is they confuse what joy and happiness is. And happiness is really quite key. Happiness is what it's all about. Do you know the difference? Okay, if you don't know the difference between joy and happiness, it's a pretty simple equation. Joy is a momentary thing. It's like a child getting an ice cream. It produces joy, fun, but it doesn't produce a long-term vision or a happiness or a view of where you're going in life, which is at the core. If you look at Maslow's pyramid, once you've satisfied the bottom levels of the pyramid and you're all sort of good, even money doesn't become that important anymore. Actually, it's about where you're going in your future and what holds your future. What we really want to look for is happiness, not joy. Happiness is a long-term view of where we're going. I can tell a story that will relay that. I sometimes ask people, where else does your happiness come from? Your past, your present, or your future? Then I'll tell a little story and I'll say, well, hey look, what if I told you, and I'm an incredibly believable guy, what if I told you you'd won lotto? And on Monday you were going to pick up a whole lot of money, and that would pretty much set you up for life. You'd start to be happy on Monday or right now? My guess is right now. And then if we take that story a bit further and we go, you get to Monday and you find out actually it wasn't such a trustworthy guy and you didn't win a damn thing. You'd be pretty disappointed on Monday, but would you have still been happy between now and Monday? The point of that story is it highlights that your happiness is actually about your future, or more exactly, not your real future, but what you perceive is actually going to happen. We talk quite often about culture trumps strategy. Well, what the hell does that mean? Well, it actually means that it doesn't matter what you strategize, what plan you put in place, if your staff don't exercise that plan, if they're not engaged in that plan, it ain't gonna happen. We forget that the power is actually with the masses, and our power as managers, or even within ourselves as people, is to create a future that engages us. That's a wonderful catchphrase. You can see why it's so popular out there. But engages us, gets us excited, produces our happiness. And that picture comes out of our culture, and the way we execute towards that picture comes out of our culture. So culture doesn't replace a strategy, it enables it. Yeah, exactly. Happiness is what drives our engagement. We engage with a future vision, where we're going, what it's building for us. And out of that comes a culture. We create a culture amongst us as a community by a joined vision of the future, a joined happiness in what we see in our future. And yep, you got it. That drives the strategy. Do you know about the 3 pillars of business? If you don't know about the 3 pillars of business, you should, because out of those 3 pillars comes every other decision. The 3 pillars of business are your value proposition, why the hell it is worth any money to anybody. Your financial model, how you're going to charge or make money off that value proposition. And that is, some people think that's just, well, I'll charge for it, it'll be a cost. But there are a lot of things out there that don't have a cost directly to the consumer that make money through advertising or in other ways. And it's getting more and more common. Understand your market and how that's going to happen or you're in trouble. The last one is really important and is a subject all by itself, and we'll talk about a lot, which is known as the corporate moral set. And even if you're not a corporate, this is important because it determines trust. So how am I going to articulate this? Well, you've seen some of it in this video. I'm going to use drawings. I'm going to use scribbles on the screen to show how to articulate it all. I think a picture is worth 1,000 words, and that's the easiest way to get across concepts, because it's concepts we're talking about rather than black and white facts that are easy to put on paper. Okay, let me show you. Success can mean many things. It can mean money, financial success. Or it can mean family and success within our greater lives. The trouble is, success is a concept, and when it comes to concepts, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Take this stack of blocks. It's pretty easy to describe with words, but the meaning might get missed. But a picture, it can help colour in our understanding. Allows us to see the bigger picture. So that is where you put your scribbles are going to help us out. So there you have it, a very quick overview of what we do. It's just a sort of a taster to let you know what the channel's all about and how it's going to come across. The idea is to create a bit of a community, as I said to start with, to give you a different view on how things fit together, to give you a different approach, if you like, a look into it, and see if we can create a community that moves forward and educates, to both make ourselves happier, but also make us more successful in business and more successful in managing, which is, after all, managing either people or relationships or, or customers is what it's all about. I'd like to say I'm not a videographer, so if the quality of the video is not what you want, please put it in the comments, let me know so I can improve it. If you could say what I could do, that would be great. The same with sound and everything else. And I'm not a psychologist or any such thing. I just have many decades of experience in business and with people, and maybe at some stage I'll do a background on myself so you know who I am and where I come from. But let's leave it there, get into the other videos that are up, and see if it's your cup of tea.